Well, this is what you wanted. People was like, man, you got to tell us, Karceno, flat out, what's going on with Colin Kaepernick in this situation about him not standing for the national anthem, for the Star Spangled Banner. What's going on here? And a lot of people keep telling me about it's a big problem. Like this just happened. Many of you probably don't remember because you probably wasn't born yet or probably was just born. This has happened before. This country has always had problems with the American flag because when it was created during the time of slavery, even the song. A lot of you guys don't remember the War of 1812. Probably from history books you studied just the war part, that was it. Well, the War of 1812 symbolizes when America decided we want Canada to be part of the United States, so we're going to take it by force. Very familiar with how they took over Alaska, the Hawaiian Islands, Guam, and all the other countries. Puerto Rico included. So they said, well, you know what? Let's get Canada. Let's ride out. Now, Canada was under the ownership at that time of Great Britain. And Great Britain, they didn't mind having the use of slaves, freed slaves, blacks who wanted to help out and join them in the war where they would have freedom over in Great Britain if they want. Some, if they wanted, could stay in Canada. So they did. And with the help of the slaves, Great Britain was able to beat the United States. And in 2 years of this war, in 2014, of course, we all know they burnt down the White House. Now, this angered most of the people, and when the Star Spangled Banner was created, the actual song, it mentions what happened during that time. And there's some derogatory statements in the Star Spangled Banner that talks about slaves in the original Francis Scott Key song. Now, that has been dramatically edited, and those words are taken out due to the fact of where we are in current climate. That was not going to stand. So they took those lyrics out of the song. And rightfully so. Now, people may not realize this, but just in the early 90s, like I said, this happened before. Chris Jackson, Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf, one of the best basketball players to ever come out of LSU, definitely got the short end of the stick because of his protest of not standing for the national anthem in the NBA. You know, many people forget about what he went through and what he did. He came through his college career, he was Chris Jackson. He transferred his beliefs to Islamic in like 91, I think. And then 2 years later, he changed his name to Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf and became one of the best players, most improved players in 92 and 93. And there was times he would cover up the logos on his shoes because, you know, he had a Nike deal, wasn't renewed, so he put up a stance for that. So he would do stretching during the national anthem, and nobody even noticed. It went on for months. Nobody even cared. It got all the way into March of '95, or the '95-'96 season, where people cared. You know, like they made a big deal about it. Because some writer from the town who wrote about it in Denver's newspaper, it was just one little small line in there about it. And the next day, it was like 30-some people in there. Because he was stretching and was like, and yeah, Mike knew about Raul. He wouldn't even look at the flag. So there was no precedence for this. It never had existed in the league to where they were like, this can be a national problem. Now you're going to have people sitting down. They're not going to want to stand. So they had other Muslims that were in the NBA, such as Hakeem Olajuwon, who had to talk with Chris Jackson and everyone else on coming up with a compromise. Because being a good Muslim means also being a good citizen and not being disrespectful. So he had to try to explain these things to Abdul Raul, who only been Muslim for a couple of years. And most of those guys who become Muslim over the first couple of years are extreme Muslims because it's something new. So they want to take everything to the book, everything to the letter, to the extreme. So the NBA, they came to an agreement that they would allow, you know, they say, okay, well, let's come to an agreement here. Let's allow this, like, you could stand, you have to stand. You can't just sit because it's disrespectful. You could stand, but you don't have to look at the flag. You can close your eyes. You can look away. You don't have to look at the flag or, like, put your hand over your heart and all that. You don't have to, but you do have to stand. We need that compromise. So he decided that he would just pray while the flag was up. And that was okay for the league. And the league said, okay, we averted this situation. Let's run out of here right now while we can and get away from this subject. And with the Colin Kaepernick situation, it shocked me that it came from him. And the reason why it shocked me is because the thing is that really shocked me is that what he said, the reason why he did it is because it stands for slavery, abuse, and all of these things. But I don't remember him ever doing this or sitting throughout his career. Like last year, the police were killing people. I mean, a lot. And I never seen him not do it. The year before that, police were killing people. There was a lot of movements. It was marches. It was protests. I don't remember him ever saying anything else about it. I'm just, I was kind of shocked. Coming from a mixed guy, mixed race guy who was raised by whites. He was adopted and raised by whites. It was shocking to basically hear it come from him. But, throughout the history, it has become a situation where other people have had problems with the flag and all that stuff. The Bible even tells us we're not supposed to worship flags. You know? So, that's just it. That's the truth. We're not supposed to bow before any engraven image. But yet and still, in the church, outside of the church, they have an engraven image. Then they want you to bow before it and kiss its feet and all this stuff. So it's like, it's contradiction of the book you're supposed to be reading from. That's just me. But of course, during slavery, having these flags and stuff above your head while all of this stuff was going on, you know, at the time it did stand for oppression. You know, black people always catching hell in this country because we don't have equal rights. It's sad, but we don't have it. So there's always going to be an uprising. But not standing for the American flag is, to me, it's just disrespectful. It's a lot of people that died under that flag. I stand for the national anthem. I stand up when they play the national anthem because it's a lot of people that are our people that died. I don't stand for the flag. I don't stand really for the song. I stand to pay respects to the people who lost their lives behind the flag or the song. You can say any prayer you want to those people, but show them that respect. Say that you're standing for them. It's okay if you want to be against the flag. That's your own prerogative. That's part of being an American. You have the right to do what you choose. Free country. But be careful in what you do, because you can't be halfway with it. You can't say, well, this stands for oppression and slavery, but you're going to support and buy stuff from people who enslaved. It's like, well, then what do you buy that for? You know, like, their ancestors enslaved you. So shouldn't you be protesting that new Porsche you got? Should you be protesting the clothes you got on your back? Why are you wearing those designers? Their forefathers kept your family in slavery, right? So you got to be careful with how you go down these roads. You can't pick and choose what benefits you if you don't take this route. If you Colin Kaepernick. So when I stand, when they do the national anthem and we stand, it's for the people that lost their lives. I don't stand for a flag. I stand to represent those people that are gone, that died behind it. Now, each person had their own reasons or whatever, and that's your choice. I don't take it from you at all. But I understand what he said as far as, yes, there was a time where the American flag was definitely against us. It was definitely a time the Bible was changed to keep us calm in slavery, telling us to listen to the slave masters. There was a time all these things were, and they took them all out. So, other than that, I'm done with it. But I am curious to want to know, why now? That's the question I think people need to ask Colin Kaepernick. Why now? Well, police is killing people in the street. They was killing people for the last 5-6 years. Why now? You want to get traded? We know. But why now? Because you didn't do this in the Super Bowl. You didn't do this last season. At least I didn't see it last season. Now this season? Why now? That's the question.